75, Chapter 231. Adequate notice of this regular meeting of the Board of Adjustment of the Township of Franklin has been provided. Please call the roll.
1 second here. She didn't give
You're
me the
killing us here.
sheet. She didn't give me the sheet.
Time marches on.
So you don't know everybody's name?
Nice.
Just look at our name tag.
Give him the name, Joe. Give
I know who's here and who's not. I'll.
give him the name.
We will move on to resolutions. DeSapio, ZBA 16-00016. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, let me get to the, see who can vote. Mr. Grauman,
Yes.
Mr. Rich,
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell,
Yes.
Mr. Rosenthal,
Yes.
Mr. Reese,
Yes.
Chairman Thomas.
Yes. Sully and Roar, ZBA 16-00020.
So move.
Second.
Second.
Mr. Grauman,
Yes.
Mr. Rich,
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell,
Yes.
Mr. Rosenthal,
Yes.
Mr. Reese,
Yes.
Chairman Thomas.
Yes. Caputo, ZBA 16-00025.
I move. Second.
Mr. Grauman, Mr. Rich,
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell,
Yes.
Mr. Rosenthal,
Yes.
Mr. Reese,
Yep.
Mr. Thomas.
Yes. And Rudolph, ZBA 16-00023.
I move. Second.
Mr. Grauman,
I don't think I can vote on that.
no, I have you that you voted for it, at least. If you don't think you did, it's on the resolution that you
But
voted
you know
for.
what? You're right. I was looking at
Yeah.
the other one. Okay.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Mr. Rosenthal?
Yes.
Mr. Reese?
Yes.
Chairman Thomas.
Yes. The discussion section, voucher, various legal matters, April through September 2016 for $542.50. We need a motion and a second.
I move that we pay that.
Second.
You can do that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Hearing section, 101 Metlers Road, ZBA 16-00036. Site plan with use and sign variances in which the applicant's looking to convert roughly one half of their building to a charter school at 101 Metlers Road, Somerset, Block 511, Lot 1.02 in the ROL zone. Carried to December 15th with no further notification needed. Second, in the first actual hearing, Edward Chikowski, ZBA 16-00032, variance in which the applicant is requesting to put up a detached two-car garage, 179 Delmonico Avenue, Somerset, Block 93, lots 33 and 34 in the R10 zone. And do we have that applicant? Come on up to the table.
Kid, come on up here. Get sworn in.
Okay, you can have a seat right there. When you get settled, I'm gonna ask you to see if you can turn the microphone on. It might have two buttons on it. And top.
How's that?
That's good. Okay, so if you raise your right hand for me, I'm gonna swear you in. You solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, and your name for the record.
Edward Chigowski.
Okay, thanks.
You want to just briefly explain what you want to do and why?
Yeah, what I'm looking to do is put up a two-car garage, pole barn actually it is, in my backyard just for storage of my car, my motorcycle, possibly a boat, my lawnmowers. I don't want to leave nothing outside of my house. I'd rather have everything under lock and key in my yard.
Could you speak more, first of all, put that.
Closer to me?
You
How's
got
that?
it.
Better?
Yeah, put it in my,
I would just like to keep all my contents under lock and key in my garage and have them out in my yard at night.
what's in the garage?
What's in the garage?
Yeah.
You mean after I build it? I'll have my vehicles in there, my motorcycle, I have a snowmobile, little workshop just to, I'm redoing my house a little bit inside, that type of stuff.
Did you have an opportunity to read any of the comments, particularly the planner's report? Any of the professional reports that were prepared for this application?
What would that be under? Anything I got from the township?
Yes.
Yes, I've been going through everything, whatever I was told to do and whatever had to be sent out.
There's a report from our planner, Mark Healy, in which he raises a concern about the need for so much driveway area.
Yeah,
Because
that's
we're
that's
dealing
basically what I'm here for, is they're saying too much impervious surface.
Right, and the question is, why do you need so much driveway area? There's an area right around the back of your house, which could be turned into lawn, it looked like.
Well, there's lawn there now, that's where I was looking to put the building.
No, the question is, you have the variance, also, just so the board is aware, I just did the calculations tonight. He also needs a slight variance for building coverage. And that's the coverage of the house plus the garage is 21%, 20 is the max. So just so you're aware, that's an additional variance. But the main variance is impervious surface.
Yes, that's what I'm here for tonight,
The max
yes.
is 30%, and you have 44. And the 44 is not just caused by the pole barn, it's also caused by the fact that, at least per the survey, you have this kind of existing large area of gravel that's right behind your house. And then you're putting the pole barn in the back right corner, and then you have additional new gravel going around to connect to that.
Yes.
So the question is, why do you need so basically your whole backyard is going to be a gravel area. But that's what's causing the variance. Why do you need such a large area of gravel in your
Well, there might be
backyard?
times that the vehicles aren't gonna go in the garage, so I pull right behind the house. It's the most convenient place for me to park. I don't wanna park out in the street. I have a park across the street from me. Sometimes I can't even get in my own driveway.
Can't
Ask
you-
them park. I can't even get in my own driveway sometimes when I come home. I have to knock on people's windows because they park on my side of the street and block my driveway to get into my driveway.
I'm not su- How does that affect your need to have gravel in your backyard?
Well, I'd rather park my cars behind the house. I don't want to have to park out in the street, you know. That's just how my driveway is right now. You know,
I
in
don't
order-
understand, I'm having a hard time putting those two problems together. If your driveway is blocked, then it sort of doesn't matter how large your driveway is, right? Because.
Yeah, no, I understand that, yeah, but that's
Okay,
why I want to
so-
put up a garage. You know, there's the stone area behind my house now. It just works well because I pull up to my patio when I have to go into my house. I can walk right into my house.
But
You
you're
know,
going to
in
now
order
have a
get in-
garage.
In order to get in the garage, yeah, then I'll have to walk from the garage into the house. You know, so I'll have to lose the area behind the house, is what you're saying for,
So
driveway?
well, let me see if I understand this. Is the garage that you're putting up not really for your cars, but for all of your other stuff?
no, for my vehicles also. You know, I like to keep my car in the garage at night, you know. It just helps your vehicle last longer. In the wintertime, you come out, you don't have snow on it, it's better.
I don't know. So what you're looking for essentially, if I understand it, are potentially two places to have your cars, either in your garage or behind the garage on that gravel area.
Yeah, or if I have company over there, where do I have them park? I don't know if you've ever been down Delmonico Avenue when the park is loaded. Sometimes you can't even get down the street. You know, I'd rather my company be able to pull into my yard and not have to deal with people out in the street from the park.
Is there any way that you can reduce the coverage?
Yeah, I can try to cut back where I can, you know. The driveway going in only has to be 8 foot wide, you know, straight back to the building. And, you know, the spot behind the house, I could probably choke it up a little bit tighter, you know, and when the landscaping is in, I'd have bushes, you know, around the back of the house and a mulch bed or whatever, you know, 5 or 6 feet away from the house.
Well, if we were to approve the variance, the calculation would have to be there. I mean, it wouldn't be, we're approving this,
Yeah, I
subject to
understand.
your
Yeah, what I'm
cutting it
gonna
back
do,
a little
yes,
here and
yes,
there.
I understand that, yeah.
Okay, so you said you needed the additional area for, the additional gravel area that you have is roughly 30 by 30. That's a pretty big area for guests to park. You need
Yeah,
that
well,
in
it's not
addition-
exactly 30 by 30, it's just the way stone was put there, and, you know,
Well, that's what's
that's
shown
gonna
on
be
your,
cut back from, if you look at the pictures off of the building, when the building's there, I can come out 6 or 8 feet, you know, with lawn, will be in front of the building, facing the house.
no,
It's
what I
not
was
gonna be
saying,
stone right to the building. It's not gonna be stone right to the building.
no, what I was saying was the proposed area is 30 by 30. So you're adding that, and then the 30 by 40 garage, in addition to the large gravel area behind the house, that's why you're at 44%,
Yes.
which is a pretty significant variance. So you said, it seemed like you didn't get a chance to review the reports that were generated?
What is the report? Is it a paper?
Well,
Is
there's
it-
the
what is
one,
it?
yeah, it's printed on paper, and the one related comment from engineering is that they're recommending that a dry well or rain garden,
Yeah, whatever has to be done with that, you know, I'll apply with that, whatever they need done. I understand that. If they need
Okay.
dry wells put in, whatever it takes.
okay, the reason I'm bringing that to your attention, that could be a significant cost associated with that,
Yeah, exactly.
and you're okay, you'd agree to install that?
Whatever needs to be
if the
done.
board
you know,
grants the
I'm trying to put up
variance.
a garage, so I don't have to have my stuff left outside and, you know.
So I don't think the issue is the garage. I think the question that we're asking is, I think we can understand why you want the garage.
Yes.
It's why do you have
Yes.
all of this gravel in your backyard? You know, you have two areas, 30 by 30 of, roughly, of gravel, in addition to this relatively large garage. Why do you need all of that? And that's the stuff that's creating the variance.
Yeah,
And the need for
exactly.
the dry well. You know, if you were to reduce some of this, the need for the dry well and the expense that goes with it may go away.
Yes, exactly.
Mr. Chakowski,
Yes.
why don't you come up here?
Yeah, let me have that.
Okay. What distresses me so often is the applicants come in and have not realized that there are reports that we get. And you would have been so prepared for these questions.
If you look at the area, typically when someone would come in for this, you'd have your driveway, and then you'd have the area that's labeled proposed driveway area.
Yes.
And then if you drew a line from the left side of the garage down to your house, that 25 or 35 square right next to your house, that typically would not be there. And I think that's what the board's talking about, that the
Yeah,
square
yeah, the
area.
section behind the
The
house.
section behind that
Yes.
typically would not be there when you have the driveway, and that's what they're discussing right now.
I see.
They're trying to
Yes.
understand
Yeah,
why
why
you
I
need
need
the
that,
area
yeah.
behind the garage, behind the house, and then the area right next to the garage.
Yeah, well,
That are-
the area, the way it is by the garage there, wasn't gonna be as squared off. It was just gonna kind of turn out, you know? Being squared off at the dots, I guess it looks so much bigger. You know what I'm saying? It looks so much bigger. So I don't know if I can cut down behind the house just enough to park even one car there, so one car could pull up to the patio, you know, to cut that back, you know?
Well, how do we handle?
What about the rear?
And I could put grass there, just enough to even park one car, you know, to pull one car there.
I don't have a problem with what you are proposing.
Yes.
The problem I have is how to deal with that tonight.
Well, I think you could do
Can we
one or
make
two
the
things.
calculation?
You could do a rough calculation and give them the option to either get to that number or do the dry well. I think it's
Well, he's gonna have to do a dry well, because the garage in itself, anytime you add 1,000 square feet or more, now the dry well will be significantly reduced, and the cost will be reduced because of what he's proposed, but, you know, when he gets rid of it, because he'll get credit for that. But
Well, if it reduces enough of the existing gravel, there's a chance you might bring it below the 1,000, but there's a chance if you reduced enough.
yeah, I would say, you want to.
Cut down behind the
You want to come
house
up
there.
a minute? And why? how much of this, this square here,
I mean, we could come, here's the patios.
draw a line of what you think you need.
And lose that, and we can, here's the building, come over here, maybe just make enough room for one car to come up in there.
So you just think you just need like this area?
Yeah, just that area if I
And
can have. Now, this is just,
No, we're trying to give so how wide do you think of an area you need? How wide would that have to be? Probably 12 foot is. Mark, do you have a scale with you?
I don't.
What's the scale here? It's a 20 scale.
I realize if I cut back somewhere, I'm better.
Yeah, we could do a rough calculation for him so we can tell him the number that he needs to get to. So we got the 20 scale here.
If we resolve this, is there anyone that's going to have any other questions?
Yeah, he's gonna do 20, so that's like 30. Yeah, it's like a 30 by 30 area, and you could do 30. What he wants to do, Mark? You make this area like here, make this like 12 feet.
It's pretty big garage.
12 feet wide, and that would get rid of it, and get rid of there. So he'd just have a little area to pull in. So you'd have a 12 by,
That's not gonna, he's still gonna be over the back.
yeah,
Driveway
Yeah.
area, I don't know why.
I was trying to figure out if there's a way that he can avoid doing
I
the
don't think
driveway.
so. This is like, this is all new, this is gonna be 2,000 square feet. That's 1,200, that's at least 2,000. So there's no way he's gonna get rid of the driveway. How about the area, look here again for a second.
Where you would turn out of the garage, it wouldn't be square like that, it could be just rounded, there's no reason.
Come in, so we can figure this area, this gravel area here.
Yeah, even when I'm coming out here, so that's where the doors are gonna be, so I wouldn't, that's my property line there, I don't need that stone over there, they would come out and sweep out, it's gonna sweep out,
Well, you have to be able to get into this bay.
Yes, correct, so it's gonna sweep out, you're gonna lose this corner here, you're gonna lose that
Well,
corner
you wanna
here.
sweep it out like
Yes,
this.
it would be like that going into the doors, correct.
You wanna, so, yeah, that's good.
The driveway here, starts out wider, it's just what's there, the way the stone is laying. If it's 8 foot wide straight up, and it sweeps into the bays, and if I could just have even one spot here behind the house, I could, put grass, and from the building over this way, put grass, all the way to that corner even past.
So it would go like this?
This could all be grass right here, this could all be grass, all that could be grass, that could all be grass, and just this spot here, because here's my patio. Sometimes it's convenient, you come home with groceries, you can back right up to the patio and into the house and the back door.
And you need this little notch?
No, here's where, this would run straight up, and sweep in, and sweep in.
Yeah, it's a big garage.
I mean, we're not gonna be able to come up with a percentage, but, on the spot, but it's really, board saw this as the exhibit, didn't know what's.
We could pass that along, I could mark it and pass it
But
on.
I think, if the board is inclined to approve that, that's definitely gonna be below 40. And I think you could mark it as exhibit A1 and, up to, basically be whatever this is, but no more than 40%.
Yeah, like I said, I opened the door,
Yeah, something like that, yeah. It's a big
He's
garage.
got his plan right there.
I have another one or something.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do for the record, sir, just have a seat back down there so we get your testimony. I'm gonna mark this as A1. And the record will reflect that it's the plan with the hand-penned sketch showing the flow of the driveway into the new garage and the elimination of some of the gravel stones, so I'll pass it around. And our professionals have indicated that would bring it at least to 40%, probably lower, but so that theoretically you could just grant them a variance to 40%, and then you could just get to that number, whatever works easier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing in the reports, we should get a determination of the size of the garage compared to the size of the house,
Or the height?
or the height, yeah.
Yeah, how tall is it?
It'll roughly be about 24, 25 feet tall to the peak.
And how tall is your house?
Oh, I believe I'm almost 35. I'm taller than that. It's probably even taller than that.
What utilities are going to go in there?
Just electric.
Okay.
Someday.
And it's all a residential use.
That's it, yes.
Any other questions?
Well, is the house one story?
2-story,
Okay.
Cape Cod.
One and a half.
So that was, it was recently made 2 stories?
No, it's been,
Okay. I'm just looking at it on Google Maps and it looks like,
It's a Cape Cod.
the peak is very high.
okay.
One and a half, it says.
Any other questions? We'll open to the public. Is there anyone who wants to ask a question concerning the application or make a statement? If not, we'll close to the public and let everyone on this side of the table get a chance to look at the
I see.
revised site plan.
Looks okay to me.
Otherwise, we'll then be ready to entertain a motion.
Yes. The cuts down.
Okay.
It's okay.
All right, if there are no questions,
No.
we need a motion.
Okay, I move that we approve the application as revised, specifically the approval requires that that it be revised in accordance with Exhibit A1, which reduces the amount of impervious coverage to no more than 40%, but subject to the recalculation of our experts.
Yes.
Okay,
And the building coverage of 21%.
And a building coverage of 21%.
Yes.
we need a second.
Second.
Okay, poll the board.
Mr. Reese.
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell.
Yes.
Mr. Rich.
Yes.
Mr. Grumman.
Yes.
Mr. Betterbid.
Yes.
Rosenthal.
Yes.
Chairman Thomas.
Yes, okay, good luck with it.
Thank you very much.
Rook Cedar Grove Lane Properties, ZBA 16-00040, sign variance which the applicant seeks approval for a sign at 20 Cedar Grove Lane, Somerset, 424.02, lot 31.01 in the R40 zone. This is a sign for the hotel.
Infamous hotel.
And restaurant.
Do we know what restaurant's going in there?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Peter Lanford appearing on behalf of the applicant. This is an application for a sign variance to refresh the board's recollection. Back in about 2011, we came in for a use variance and had rather protracted hearings to obtain the approval for a hotel and restaurant. In the original application, we had proposed 2 signs, and the board was unwilling to grant us the 2 signs, so we withdrew our request for any sign variances at that time. We did get approval for the attached signs on the building, which are there now. The application tonight is to construct 1 freestanding sign to identify both the hotel and the proposed restaurant. The reason we need a variance is that your sign ordinance allows 100 square feet. Our actual signage is 70 square feet, but because of the way we're constructing the sign to match the hotel, you count everything, and we're over the 100 square feet. So that's our application. I will call Mr. Gabriel as my first witness.
Only witness.
Okay, sir, if you raise your right hand for me, do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Is that mic on?
Yeah, that's.
It is.
State your name for the record, please.
Anthony Gabriel with Rook Cedar Grove Lane Properties.
Mr. Gabriel, you're employed by Rook Cedar Grove,
Yes.
and part of your job was to supervise the construction of the hotel,
Yes.
and you're also in charge of having a restaurant constructed.
Correct. Yes.
Can you give the board an update as to where we are with the restaurant?
The restaurant design phase is complete at this point. We're in architectural construction documents now. Within the next 3 to 4 weeks, we should have footing and foundation drawings into the township for approval.
Is it a chain restaurant?
It is not a chain restaurant. The same owners as the hotel is going to own the restaurant. It's going to be an American bistro type of restaurant.
Is that going to be attached to the hotel or separate?
It's separate, detached. It's right across from, it's up on the Cedar Grove Lane side of the road.
I see the empty land there.
Okay, Mr. Gabriel, our application is for the sign variance for the hotel. Can you indicate to the board the materials that you're going to use to construct the sign?
The materials of the sign are going to be a combination of both ephes and stone to match the aesthetics of the hotel that we built. The sign is going to be landscaped at the bottom, stone veneer on the sides with an ephes band in the middle, and then the channel letter sign is going to be above the pediment at the bottom.
Okay, and the letters are going to be internally lit?
Yeah, they're backlit, illuminated, and they're all individual channel letters.
Okay, and there is no other lighting on the sign other than the letters themselves?
No.
Is that correct? And if we had to reduce the sign to 100 square foot, would you be able to construct it without all that brick veneer?
No, I don't think I'd be able to construct it.
Okay. Now, you've had an opportunity to review the staff comments in conjunction with this application.
Yes.
And you've already sort of dealt with the issues. You understand that we have to provide the landscaping, and that's a requirement that's set forth in Mr. Healy's report.
Yes.
Correct? And you also understand that you're not allowed to place any additional signage or temporary banners on the ephes portion of that sign. You're restricted to the sign that we're getting approval
Correct.
for this evening. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Any board questions? Open to the public, is there, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you can open to the public.
We'll open to the public. Anybody want to make a comment or statement? We'll close. Go ahead.
There's kind of a big blank space above the planter. Do you propose to do anything with that?
That is just it's gonna be an ephes band there that's gonna match the building. It's probably gonna be 2 different colors, if not all the same color, and we'll just be cutting a V groove into there to give it some dimension to that big open space.
Okay, so you're not going to put temporary banners or signage in that area?
No.
Okay. And this complies with the height requirement for the sign?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any others?
And just a real brief history on this sign. This is in the same location and same height that was proposed when they came before the board a number of years ago. And the board basically, I'll just put it this way, the applicant and the board couldn't reach an agreement on the design of it. And basically they're coming back now at this point to discuss and to go over. And basically, our commercial design standards say that the sign design has to match or complement the design of the building. And that's basically what they've done with this. And incorporates certain requirements like the channelized lettering, which was a condition of the board's original approval.
Any questions? Anyone want to make a motion?
I move that this application be approved, subject to all of the professional reports.
Second.
Mr. Reese?
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. Graham?
Yes.
Mr. Betterbit?
Yes.
Mr. Rosenthal?
Yes.
Chairman Thomas?
Yes, okay. Kiefer, I think is next. Kiefer and Company Incorporated, ZBA 1600038, sign variance being sought to erect two attached signs, 441 Elizabeth Avenue, Somerset, Block 507.15, Lot 1.02.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Peter Lanford appearing again on behalf of the applicant. This is an application for actually two sign variances at property located at on Elizabeth Avenue in the complex that has the ShopRite, the Verizon store, Panera, and other stores. PetSmart will be coming in fairly shortly. And the two variances that we are seeking, the first variance, and if you look at the photograph, which was part of our submission, there are two signs. One is the PetSmart Pet Spa sign. That one exceeds the size requirements. There's a 30-foot requirement, and we are at 54.46 square feet. And also the height requirement, the height is allowed to be 3 feet, and we are 3 feet 2.25 inches, so we're 2.25 inches over the height requirement.
Just one quick it's actually three variances because you have two signs and then the height, so that's technical, but.
There's two variances for the one sign, and the other sign is a conforming
Right.
sign, but it's not allowed. 'Cause
Correct.
We're only allowed one sign.
Right.
Okay, so with that, I will call as my first witness, Mr. Patero.
Okay, sir, if you raise your right hand, you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
State your name, spelling the last.
Larry Paterno, Paterno.
Okay, Mr. Paterno, by whom are you employed?
By Kiefer and Company.
Okay, and you work with them as far as doing the installation of their signs?
Yes.
And you are familiar with the signs that we're proposing to have installed at the subject property, correct?
Yes.
All right, let's talk about the smaller sign. That is the conforming sign, which is the 10-inch high sign that's 10 inches high by, let me get to the page,
29 foot, 3.5 inches.
29 foot 3.5 inches. That sign, is it illuminated?
No.
Okay, so the letters that you are going to be putting on the building are just the letters themselves. Those letters are not in fact illuminated, is that correct?
Correct.
But if you go to the exhibit that we submitted in conjunction with the application, the plan set, and I assume everybody has it, the first sheet shows the sign. There are goosenecks lights as part of the original approval that will shine down upon that sign, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the PetSmart sign, we are seeking to get a height variance that we're 2 inches over the required height, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then the 54 feet is because we measure, how do we measure the 54 feet?
Well, we take the overall height and multiply that by the overall length.
Okay, and obviously then we have to take it all the way to the top of the red dot and that slash on the top of the words PetSmart, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of the sign, and then the pet spot at the bottom is also part of it.
Correct.
Okay, and have you put up signs for Kiefer and Company for PetSmart before this?
Yes.
Okay, and is this their prototypical sign, or are their signs generally even larger than this sign?
Generally much larger. As a matter of fact, we've put up signs 7 feet in height
Okay,
overall.
and this sign, how is it illuminated?
This is internally illuminated with LED lighting, which is typical for illuminated channel letters.
Okay, and as far as the appropriateness of the size of that sign in proportion to the area in which is located over the main entrance, in your opinion, does it proportionally fit over that main entrance?
Yes.
Okay, and the sign itself is actually required by PetSmart itself in all their stores, and that's their prototypical
Yeah, that's
marketing sign.
Yes.
Okay. Now, have you been, you haven't been to the subject property yet,
No, I
Okay,
haven't.
I'll strike that question. What is the width of the building?
The overall width of the area that they are taking is 61 feet, 3 inches.
Okay, which in this shopping center is basically a double space, correct?
Yeah,
So if there were actually two tenants in there instead of just one, since they're taking a double space, two signs would have been allowed on that facade, is that correct?
typically.
But your ordinance only allows one sign per tenant, so that's why we are seeking the two signs, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, I have no further questions.
Any board questions?
I have a question. Is the 10-inch sign band, those letters are going to be white?
Yes, they
Okay.
will be white.
I like how it's low contrast.
Any other questions? We'll open to what remaining public there still is. If you'd like to ask a question or anything, make a statement. Okay, we'll close.
Fascinated.
Is there anything anyone else needs? I think it's all pretty appropriate. Then we need a motion.
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Reese? Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Grauman?
Yes.
Bedabid?
Yes.
Rosenthal?
Yes.
Chairman Thomas?
Yes. Do you have a tentative opening date?
I think they're trying to get in December.
All right, good luck with it. Last
Thank you.
application, Ron and Yvonne McBride, ZBA 16-00030. Variance being sought due to applicant putting up an addition with proper permits, but when as-built was submitted, it was over the maximum impervious coverage at 2 Viking Avenue, Somerset, Block 287.002, Lot 28.31, in the R10 zone.
Good evening again, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Peter Lanford appearing on behalf of the applicant. Now you have Mrs. McBride all worried when you had the first application and the poor guy with the garage and the impervious coverage. I will try to briefly explain to you what happened here. Mrs. McBride obtained a building permit to put an addition onto her house. She built, and as part of the addition, she was required to install a dry well to handle runoff. She built the addition in accordance with the plans, and the addition met all of the requirements of the ordinance, including the impervious coverage. However, after she did, or while she was doing the addition, she decided that she was going to expand her driveway, her patio, and that put us in the predicament that we are in. I will briefly go over some testimony with Mrs. McBride, but basically we are now at about 40% when the ordinance requires 30%. So we're in a situation where we're over the impervious coverage. I will have Ms. McBride sworn, and I'll try to give you a little bit more history on this.
Okay, if you raise your right hand for me, do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, put the mic
Microphone
right
closer.
by
You
your
are-
mouth.
I do.
You are Miss McBride for the record, correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Okay. I assume the board in their packet received all of the colored photographs that Mrs. McBride submitted with her application as to the subject property, correct? Good.
Is this all one house?
Yes. Okay. Mrs. McBride, when did you purchase the property?
But 1996.
Okay, and the property is located on the corner of Franklin Boulevard and Viking Avenue?
That's correct.
Okay.
Speak.
Speak a little louder into the microphone. And you, at some point in time, came in to expand the house, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
When did you do that?
2 years ago we started.
Okay. And you submitted an application for a building permit to do the expansion?
Yes, I did.
And the township reviewed everything and gave you the permits?
Yes, we did.
Okay, and you built the house in accordance with the permit that you received?
Yes, we did.
And when the house was constructed and was approved, you were under the impervious coverage requirements, is that correct?
When the house was inspected, repeat the question.
When the house was constructed and that you got the permits and you constructed it, you were under the impervious coverage requirements, correct? You met the impervious coverage requirements based on the plan you submitted?
Yes.
Okay. Now, while you were building the house, besides building the house, what did you do to increase the impervious coverage and put you in the predicament that you're in?
We expanded the driveway for to be a U driveway, since it was very difficult getting in and out of the street, because it was actually from Franklin Boulevard, a very busy street. So instead of creating the single driveway, we used the proposed driveway and connected it to the existing driveway to become a U driveway. That's the additional impervious area.
And you never thought about coming back to the revised plans?
No, we did not. The proposed driveway and the existing driveway was there in the drawing. We did not know that it was necessary to come back for an additional permit or requirement.
Did you make any changes also to the rear of the property? Did you expand any of your walkways or the patio area?
Yes, there was a patio plus a secondary elevation patio that was previously there, and because I had a disabled father that we needed to have access to, we removed the stairs and the area and expanded the patio for flexibility of getting him back and forth from an elevator that we incurred also included in the house.
Okay. And when you made all of these improvements, you didn't realize that you had exceeded the impervious coverage or that you needed a variance for impervious coverage?
No,
Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and when you constructed the house, as part of the house construction, were you required to install a dry well?
Yes,
Okay, and you did in fact install a dry well?
yes, we did.
Okay, so when you did all of this work and you're all finished, you have your new driveway, your new patio, the house is finished, and you have a dry well installed, you then have to submit an as-built plan to the township to get your final certificate of occupancy. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And when you submitted your application for the certificate of occupancy, what'd you find out?
That it was above the original impervious coverage.
Okay. And then when you found that out, you applied for the variance for the additional impervious coverage. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and as a result of the application, there was a staff report that was generated, and that staff report recommended that you put either an additional dry well or rain garden in to account for the additional impervious coverage. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And did you retain an engineer to review whether a dry well and/or a rain garden can be installed?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and are you willing to install a rain garden because that's a requirement of the engineering department?
Yes, I am.
Okay, notwithstanding that, how long has the house been done with everything there?
At the request of the final permit, I think it's in August
Of this year?
this year.
And since you built all of this, have you incurred any flooding problems? Have you seen any problems with your neighbors' residences? Has there been any runoff issues?
No, there hasn't.
Okay. Notwithstanding that, though, based on the recommendations, you are willing to install a rain garden to account for this additional impervious coverage?
I don't think we had any rain this summer.
Yes, I am.
Well, we had some. I know, I got caught in a few. Okay. I have no further questions.
Did you want to talk about the accessory structure in the back?
That's one of the existing variances.
I think that's an existing condition. I'm sorry.
So that house was there? She didn't add that after the?
That's not,
No, these structures in the back.
those are sheds in the
Those are
back.
sheds.
No, but
though.
they look new. That's
No, they were there before. Yes.
Looks like a gorgeous home.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know, it seems to me this is, what's done is done, and if,
Well, it's beautiful. I mean, if you look at it, it's
absolutely gorgeous.
yeah. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful.
And if she's going to comply with the engineering requirements
Yep.
to, offset any of the, or mitigate the additional impervious coverage, I don't see a problem with approving this.
I have a question. Is the rain garden an actual design, is the design reviewed by the town?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay, so it's not,
Dry well, rain garden, we have very specific standards for both.
so there'll be,
Yeah, well, they engineer designs it, they submit the design, we approve it, they install it, we inspect it.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
When were these pictures taken?
Recently,
Okay, you have sprinklers?
yes.
Okay. It's a very nice lawn.
Any other questions? I guess we'll open to the public as it opens, since there isn't really a public here. Anyone wants to ask a question or make a statement, you can do that. Otherwise, we'll close to the public. And we'll skip, hopefully, the attorney's summation, maybe go directly to a motion.
I got an early flight in the morning.
I move it.
I'll second.
Second.
Mr. Reese? Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. Grauman?
Yes.
Mr. Betterbid?
Yes.
Mr. Rosenthal?
Yes.
Chairman Thomas?
Yes, good luck with it.
Before you guys
Thank you.
leave, the next meeting, remember, is Wednesday, not Thursday, November 2nd. So it's,
I won't be here to know that show. I want to see it.
Okay, that being said, we have a motion. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Yes. Pete?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Pete?
Meeting